We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids! Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
Happy Monday to you. I am Josh in the studio, as always, with Anna and Matt in there on the production table running the boards for us.
Yeah.
How's it going there, Matt?
It's going well. How are you?
Anna, how are things at your household?
All good, all good. Very happy.
Very happy, yes.
France
yeah.
won the World Cup, so all good.
Your husband is from France.
Yes.
He was, I'm sure, surrounded by champagne and baguettes watching the game go down.
Yeah, well, I would know he's in France right now.
He's in France right now?
Yeah. So there's no better place to be, right, guys?
Sure. That is true. I did see the shots of Paris. I'm gonna mispronounce his name,
please.
Yeah, Paris.
Sorry.
The Champs-Élysées.
Yeah.
Is that close enough?
Yeah.
That we're leading up to the Arc de Triomphe. They had everyone was just there. There seemed to be just thousands and thousands of people. I didn't even see a TV. They were just there, just to be there for when someone yelled out, "They won!"
Maybe they're listening on the radio.
Yeah, that's very French of them. Yeah,
it was like World War II. Someone holding a radio up on a light pole, saying, they won."
The old transistor radio.
Yeah.
So I was coming in today and I forgot to have my breakfast. A lot going on at the Hart household. I forgot to grab my breakfast, so I popped into the cafe here to get a little light something to kind of tie me over until 1 o'clock.
What's your normal breakfast?
Here it's
you forgot to have your breakfast.
My normal would have been a bowl of cereal, or I have a little protein bar I can grab on the go. Eggs, something simple.
Yeah,
nothing big. Anyway, there was a guy in there. And this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. A guy in there who complained. Went in there, ordered a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant. Got the bacon, egg, and cheese croissant.
Sounds delicious, by
the way. Yeah,
I had it
phenomenal.
the other day, last week, actually. It's really good.
It made me immediately regret my decision.
The croissant.
Yeah, the croissant.
The croissant.
He checks out, and then he's opening up his sandwich, and I'm thinking he's going to eat it right there, which I'm not going to judge. He opens up and goes, "This bacon is too greasy." Folds it up and gives it back to her and walks out.
Wow.
What?
I'm like, in what world do you live in where bacon is not greasy?
Yeah, what did you want?
Well, it could be the crunchy bacon. My friend cooks it, so it's really crunchy, really dry. There's no grease. Maybe that's what he wanted to say, actually.
I mean, I guess specify, but when you're going into a building cafeteria, this isn't like the Four Seasons.
No.
You're in a building cafe. You're getting a step above fast food.
Right. You're getting greasy bacon is what you're getting.
Yeah, you're getting greasy bacon. You gotta know that. And then to sit there and be like, ugh, and this isn't healthy enough for my body. You ordered a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant.
Right.
You didn't order some sort of parfait or some granola style package. You ordered one of the more greasier options.
Sure.
And then got mad.
Was there any indication that this was his first trip to the cafeteria?
I mean, he had a badge. He knew the protocol. He wasn't asking questions. He stood up, asked for what he wanted, went to the line. And it seemed like all was on course. The only thing I can think of is maybe you're right. Maybe he wanted it to be overcooked, but that's not good. That's not a sandwich.
No.
Yeah, I just
No,
It's Monday in this guy's life. It's Monday on every level, clearly.
yeah.
So wait, did he pay for it, or did he just hand it back? He handed it. So the way it works is like you're talking about the downstairs cafeteria?
The one that's upstairs.
Okay. But still, it's still the same. There's a counter where you order, and then you have to take your order and go pay at a cashier. Mm-hmm. And so he just handed it immediately back to the people that were behind the counter.
Yeah, she gave it to him. He looked at it, opened it up as he was walking to the cashier, had his wallet out ready to pay, looked at the bacon, was like, nope, too greasy. Tosses it back and walks out the door. Because I thought for a second, because I didn't hear him say it was too greasy. I thought for a second he forgot his wallet. Mm-hmm. So I'm so embarrassed. I can't buy this. I have to go.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, because I was like, is everything all right? She's like, the bacon was too greasy. And I was like, do you guys have a non-greasy bacon I don't know about? And I wouldn't get it, but I'm just curious.
I want to make sure I don't accidentally order that bacon.
Yeah, by accident. Yeah, it was just so random that people to not be like, I'm sorry, I can't eat this. It's too greasy or whatever. Can you cook it again, or can you dab it with a napkin or something? One, you're super rude, and then two, just the idea that you can get a healthier option of a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant.
Homeboy's got places to be, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
We have a full show today. Elon Musk reveals himself that he is not a cool dude. We have date talk and some fashion trends that have gone seriously awry. We're going to do
I said I love it.
Yeah, we're going to do the Elon Musk story when we come back here on the Lunch Break Show.
Team 12's meteorologist Crystal Henderson. She is downtown, live right there, struggling with the umbrella. I say ditch the umbrella, Crystal. Just tell us where exactly you are and what's going on. That is a danger for you right there.
I'm right outside the 12 News studios, and with all this rain coming down, you can imagine why the umbrellas are going up, but instead, as you can see, it's inside out. I am having to brace this wind, you guys. First, it went from day to night. Then it went from complete dryness to now I am soaked. It's a super soaking storm. It looks like we went from the desert to the tropics in the middle of a hurricane. Oh my goodness. I mean, looking at this storm approaching from the east, it looked like doomsday. And there goes my hat.
All right.
Oh my
goodness.
What?
Let's get Crystal out of that. It doesn't look safe.
Of course it doesn't look safe.
I mean, what part of go outside in the storm is safe?
What did you think was going to happen?
This is one of those things that every single news station does. They love to find the windiest time of year, the heaviest storms, the biggest snowfall, and they send the newest intern TV weather person out there. And what is there to report? Everyone who has a TV knows that it's storming outside.
Yeah.
And that the wind is blowing because they have ears and they have eyes. It makes no sense other than just for the sole sake of the ratings.
Yeah, again, it's one thing. I mean, yeah, I still think it's stupid, but when they send someone to the site of where a hurricane's about to make landfall, and you're on the beach and trees are blowing around and signs are flying all over the place, that's one thing. She literally just stepped outside of the studio. I mean, you're not going to some remote location where there's mayhem and things breaking apart. You're just out in the street in front of the studio. Just come back inside. There's nothing to be gained from that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you can't feel sorry for her because of the girl. You just stepped outside just because.
Yeah, you're being told to. I remember when I was over at I believe it was The Edge. That's a radio station here in Dallas. We are an old station here in Dallas. we sent one of our interns out during a really bad rainstorm. Again, it's radio. There's no visual component other than us. Other than us watching from the parking lot with him on his cell phone, and just his umbrella broke. I mean, it was a mess. Provided no visual contact for anyone other than us, just laughing.
Yeah, I remember a time when it was probably 10 years ago at this point, maybe less than that. But there was a welding supply company that used to be over by the highway, over by I-30. And all the acetylene canisters, there was a fire, and all these things just started exploding and like shooting off into the air, and they had the highway shut down, and there was just stuff going everywhere, and cars were parked all over the place, and I was the midday anchor at the time at KLIF, and they asked me, my PD asked me, hey, why don't you go down there? I didn't have a news badge. I didn't have anything. I was just in the thing. He said, why don't you go down there and report on it? And we thought about it for a little bit, and I said to the board up, hey, just get a bunch of exploding sound effects, and we'll say, hey, we're going to go down and report on the acetylene torches exploding. And we were just firing off explosions and things like that in the background. Like, oh, yeah, man, it's real crazy out here. The fire's going crazy. They can't put it out. So there was no point, well, I don't have a camera. I'm not going to go down there and get in the middle of a fire and explosion just for my part-time gig doing anchoring.
So we came across this story, and it's a story that was in, I guess, Petro, which is a UK style newspaper. But they had a article out that I find intriguing. It says, "Should guys pay on the first date still?" It's something that I've always kind of thought about, especially now with more and more of the movement of equal rights and equal stuff, equal all these things about being equal, except for when it comes to dating. When it comes to dating, guys still need to be chivalrous, and guys need to pay, guys need to do all this different stuff. That's where it can be not fair then. But other than that, totally equal, fair, all needs to be square. And that's always been kind of an issue that I've had. I've never I've always been the guy who pays for the first date. I think in the 2.5 years of dating, I think my wife, toward the end it was a lot more often, but in the first couple of years it was, she may have paid a handful of times, only because she's like, hey, you know what, I don't mind, can I grab this one? And we had been dating long enough that I was like, yeah, sure. But for the most part, that was still predominantly me picking up the tab when we go out for dinner or for a movie or for whatever it was, just because that's what you're supposed to do. You are trained your entire life that's your job. When you go out on a date, you're supposed to pay.
Right.
Should that change?
Well, gosh, I've been out of the dating scene for quite a while. I feel like I would still be, if I were having to date again, I would still be of the mindset that I'm the one paying, even if even if it's I don't even know how to phrase it. Even if like the person I'm dating is far more wealthy than I am, I would still feel like I would be the one to do that. And if they were to offer, I don't know if I would. I'd like to think that I would accept that generosity, but I would also kind of think, well, no, this is what I've been told that I have to do.
Right, that's how you were raised.
Right, exactly. That's how I was raised. And it's not I don't feel like it's a patriarchal thing or anything like that. It's just I was raised to be a nice person, and that's, if you're going on a date, you pay. That's just what it is. So I don't know. I assume, like you said, after a certain amount of time, if they wanted to start picking up the tab some, then okay.
Yeah, then
but
fine.
Yeah, I would at least feel weird about it.
Yeah, for me, the issue kind of comes down to again that equal thing. The thing that bothers me is that I read a lot of reports that say, like this one, 60% of women say they don't mind contributing to the date in some capacity.
So like splitting the bill?
Splitting the bill, or like, hey, if you grab the main course, I'll grab dessert or something. But then you're kind of getting into like a haggling process at that point in time. Like, hey, I'll buy the first cup of coffee, you buy the appetizer. It just seems weird. To me, it's an all or nothing game.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But that's what bothers me, is this whole like sense of, and again, I know I'm going to get some backlash here, that people say, 60% of women say that they would be okay. I think that's completely flawed. I have never known that. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've never known anyone who, when a guy didn't pay for their first date, who was okay with that.
Who didn't talk?
Who did not talk
talk
serious smack after,
Yeah.
and who now would be like, "Oh, I'm all about paying. I'm all about this. I'm all about, I'll offer and all." Yeah, sure, they may offer, but if you accept, there will be serious trash talk later on about you and your, not your manhood, but like the way, like your chivalrousness, your ability to pay for different things, and what that says about you as a man. There's all those kind of talks I've heard from other people about this sort of thing. They say one thing on a checkbox. Yeah, sure, I wouldn't mind paying, but when it comes down to it, I've heard of many women go, "That guy's a scrub."
Let me add
Please.
a comment here. So there's a couple of things here that you guys haven't mentioned, but I think it's important to mention.
Yeah.
Living in the UK, I learned a lot about. I wasn't like this, and it shocked me very much. So I heard about people that were like, "Oh, I really want to go out for dinner tonight. Oh, let me go on Tinder to see if I can score someone to pay my bill." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So this is something that at least in London really happens.
Yeah.
Women will be like, "Well, I want the guy to pay for a meal." What is shocking. And then on the other extreme side, I also have to say we did not talk about economics here. So there's a massive wage gap between men and women, right? So I'm not saying that I expect men to pay because they should or because you're raised to, but at the same time, maybe not on the first date, but further down the line, like you gotta try to kind of be a bit sensitive about, if someone is making more money and the other person isn't making that much money, where do you strike the balance?
That is a question. I know when my wife and I first started dating, when we first started to know each other, she made way more than I did. I was a promotions assistant passing out koozies and pens, and she was assistant to the marketing director. So she made way more than me. But for me, it was about just that sense of again, and I don't know where it comes from, whether it's our parents or whether it's Hollywood but there's some sort of innate sense of as the man, I must open the door and take care of and provide. Which by provide, I mean at that time it's like a date at Arby's or something. But still, like you have to provide and show that you can take care of someone. Which I think that needs to go away at some point in time. If you're going to have a conversation about gender equality, all those different things, that caveman-esque manhood of our ideology of me saying that I have to be the provider and the taker carer of someone that needs to change. But at what goes first? Do we level the playing field of pay, or do we say, hey, you know what, guys shouldn't have? Because I've heard that exact same thing. I was out when I was working over at the radio station. All the girls who work part time, again, you make $9 an hour, and they would go, okay, I want to go out to eat tonight, and they would look at their phone, or hey, there's a concert in town. I'm gonna see if anyone has tickets, and they would look to find guys to go on concerts, to go out for dates, to go out. Hey, this new movie came out. I want to go watch a film. I had a friend of mine. Same thing happened. He got a Bumble invite. He was only on there because he seriously wanted to date people, and I told him this sounds really sketchy, but the girl reached out and goes, hey, I'd love to go on a date. He goes, great. He goes, what are you thinking? He goes, he was like, I'll take you to a nice restaurant, or I'll take you to a restaurant. And she goes, no, I really would rather watch a movie, which that's, to me, a giant red flag, because you can't talk during a film.
Right. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So the new movie came out, and he goes, okay, well, should I pick you up? She's like, no, for safety reasons, I'll meet you at the theater. Great.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Sure, makes total sense.
And so they met at the theater. He'd already bought her tickets, and she walked up, grabbed the ticket, walked right inside. Yeah, and then she said, "I wouldn't mind some popcorn and a Coke." So he bought her popcorn and a Coke, sat down, watched the movie. He goes, and then they're walking out of the theater. He goes, "Would you like to go get drinks and talk?" And she was like, "Oh no, I'm fine. Have a good night." And walked to her car and left.
What?
Yeah. Now, again, I think he had many indications that this would not have been a good idea and probably should have pulled the plug a lot sooner. But just one of those deals. Like, those are the kind of things that are happening. And I know a lot of people say that's not fair, or that's not true, or that's a bad person. And sure, there's bad people everywhere.
Absolutely.
But that's one of those deals that those conversations also have to happen. Like, I'm all about equal pay for equal work. That makes total sense. Anyone who disagree with that, I would have a question with their logic. But at the same time, there are social norms that need to change as well.
Right, and I think at the same time, for me, what makes sense is who invites the other person should pay. If a girl asks a guy out, she should be paying. I paid. I had no problem with that. It wasn't my expectation to have a guy to pay, but at the same time, it's like, well, if you invited me out, then either that or then we split or, I am a really strong advocate of if you pay the main, then we'll go for a dessert somewhere or for a drink somewhere else and I'll pay that. And it kind of like, even though, maybe the bill won't be the same, but the intention is there. I don't expect you to just take me on a date and pay for the whole thing. I mean, I think that's a bit over the top. But yeah, we didn't need to have conversations about if you open the door. I mean, I would open the door to you guys, to anyone really. Like, I don't care. I don't expect you to open the door for me. But at the same time, it's like, well, what is the expectation is you are the man. Yeah. Versus, what is just kind or nice to do.
I can remember my prom date, my junior year of high school, and I was not the cultured man that I am today. I remember like getting like to her house, and I had to walk to the door to pick her up, and we'd been like boyfriend, girlfriend, so whatever that means when you're in high school. And we walk out to the car, and I just totally forgot. And I got in the driver's seat. Her mom and dad are there watching on the doorstep, and I'm just sitting in the car like, what's going on?
She's just waiting outside.
She was waiting outside the passenger door, just like we've gone on several dates at that point in time, and I never did that for her. Not because she didn't deserve it, or because I had to grow up. But I did. I grew up. I realized that it's something that you have to do. Matt, you seem much more worldly than me on this sort of stuff. How would you feel? Because for me, I would have a hard time with this. How would you feel if a girl asked you out on a first date?
For me, with my social anxiety, absolutely, I would be 100% on board with that. Yeah. Because back when I was dating, I was horrible about making the first move. I could not do it. So, absolutely, I would be. Now, again, that would be one of those things where even if she did ask me, I would still probably want to pay just because that's what I do. But I would welcome it with open arms. See, absolutely.
It would bother me. It would bother me if a girl asked me out on a date. And then if she paid, it'd be even more like a double whammy. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I know that's my own little cross to bear, and I need to get over it. But it's an issue that I would be, I couldn't do it.
Well, really? What do you do in that situation? You have someone approaching you that's clearly interested, and do you just say no?
Yeah.
What?
I've been asked out twice, and I've said no both times.
Josh.
I'm not comfortable with it.
You need to be in the driver's seat at all times.
And I need to be a little more in control. I don't know. Again, that's my insecurity. I know that makes me a little less of a worldly guy. Now I would be much more okay. But I'm also been married for like 8 years, so it changes the game up a little bit. But younger version of me was not okay with that.
Not so desperate back then.
We're completely overlooking the chat on Facebook. It's going crazy.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I did see Andy about the guy at the movie theater said it's his own fault, let himself get taken advantage of. So that is called victim blaming.
It is. Yeah. No, look, I mean, like you said, there were probably a million signs that he shouldn't have done this. But if you're going to try to believe in the goodness of people, if you're going to give people the Benny of the D, then you need to put a little blame on the person that's going in there and looking just to scam someone out of a free movie ticket and some concessions.
Because what that does is for everyone else out there who's legitimately on these dating sites, whether it's Bumble or Tinder or whatever the other ones are, Match, it sullies the whole process. Because now he feels like everyone out there is just trying to get a free meal and a free film. No one's out there trying to make a genuine connection and get to know someone. And so it puts him in that box. And so that's why if you're out there, ladies, and you see this, you don't congratulate people who go online to find free food. You go, shame on you for ruining the process for everyone else. There needs to be, like, I think that's okay on Tinder, because Tinder to me seems more of just a hookup site.
Right.
So if you're on Tinder and you're like, hey, I want to find this, and great, then maybe that's what that is. But
yeah.
As far as like other shows go.
And I would say similar to what Amanda said before that, where she said, I don't let men pay because men think you owe them now.
Sure.
Which that's a bad attitude as well. Like that's, just because you're going on a date and you pay does not mean any sort of transaction is like that transaction is finalized by just going on the date, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all you get.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think we should call out that behavior as well.
Sure.
But that doesn't excuse someone just looking to take advantage of people.
Yeah, I did hear of some guys in London that they were like, well, I took her on 3 dates. Now she needs to, come on a 4th date or whatever, and do stuff with me because. And I was like, is this really happening? Are we having this conversation?
Yeah, the do stuff with. He talk.
Right.
Coming up next, we have Sarah Strackhouse with news, keeping us updated on all the current events. That and more on the Lunch Break Show coming up next. And we are back on the Lunch Break Show. I am Josh with Anna and Matt, and also our digital correspondent, Sarah Strackhouse. How's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh, hold on.
One more time.
There we go.
Now I'm good.
There you go. Perfect.
My apologies.
How you guys doing?
So what is going on in the world of current affairs?
Well, shockingly, we're starting with Trump to start off. He had a meeting with Putin in Finland this morning.
Mm-hmm.
The historic meeting was behind closed doors for more than 2 hours. It was supposed to only be 90 minutes. Clearly, they went a little over. Fox News reports Trump received pressure to cancel the summit after there were new indictments against Russian intelligence officers, 12 of them, for allegedly hacking emails for Hillary Clinton's campaign as well as the Democratic Party. Well, in the meeting, Trump and Putin talked about trade, missile defense, and China, as well as other controversial subjects, a lot of what we kind of expect. In a press conference right after, they talked primarily around both countries saying that they wanted to get along. And Putin, one thing that kind of stuck out to me as I was reading all of the live tweets was that Putin agreed to question the 12 indicted. But
What?
I question the trustworthiness of that a little bit. But so a lot of other obviously subjects came out after that talk. They talked about Syria. They talked again about the 3 topics that were at the top of their list. But overall, Trump did say that he thought it was a good meeting. But we'll see what comes of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on, we are talking about Papa John's. Over the weekend, the Papa of Papa John's was kicked out of his office headquarters in Kentucky. Well, CNN reports the founder, John Schnatter, resigned as the company's chairman last week over racist comments made in a conference call with their ad agency. Well, apparently, Forbes reported that he was doing a role-playing exercise to avoid PR flare-ups when he said, quote, Colonel Sanders called blacks, and then repeated the N-word, which I'm obviously not going to do.
Yeah.
So I guess it was leaked out somehow. I was trying to research all over how it was leaked out, but I couldn't see anywhere. But
The internet.
The internet.
Yeah, So he was on a conference call. See, I had heard originally that it was with shareholders, but I guess not.
According to CNN Money, it was with a conference call with their ad agency, and apparently they were doing, because of what happened last year, where he talked about, he said that the Papa John sales were down because of how the NFL handled the players kneeling during the national anthem. He made that comment. People didn't like it. He stepped down as CEO 2 months later. So I guess they were kind of working on his public image, and then he said that.
Like, you make pizza. How about sticking to that realm? just make pizza.
It's not that hard to stay in your lane.
Nope. I'm not trying to get political. I'm not trying to get racial. I'm just trying to make good pepperoni pizza. Yeah. Jeez,
I ate a lot of Papa John's in college.
As a native New Jersey, New Yorker, I don't eat Papa John's.
Well, of course not. Yeah.
No? I don't know. No, I'm extremely biased and picky when it comes to pizza.
Is there a chain that you'll accept?
Sbarro's.
I can only, from The Office, I can only picture the Sbarro's, authentic New York City pizza. Grimaldi's, but they don't really have it down south. Not really.
No, just not. You're just not eating pizza down here.
Yeah, because I have a brother-in-law who is from New York, White Plains. No, not true. But anyway, he's from New York.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. And he says the same thing. And I keep showing him all of these blind tests that they've had with pizza that was made in like different cities using different waters and all the same stuff. And they give it to a blind taste test of New Yorkers who know pizza, and they never pick the right one.
To be honest, there is a place in Plano that I really, really like. And I'm, not paid to advertise them or anything, but Ferrari's Pizza at kind of by Legacy and Coit, I think it is.
Yeah.
They're amazing. And the crust is really hard. They cook it in a wood fire oven, so they get the nice bubbles. And you know what? I talked to them about how they're one of the only pizza places I really, really like in the area. And he's like, well, my family's from Yonkers. I'm like, there it is.
There it is. Yeah, but that to me is like, it's just so like preposterous that they assume that and bagels. He can never find it. Yeah. Never find a good bagel. So I always buy a box of like Einstein's to have at the house whenever he comes over.
No.
He's like, you son of a gun. But yeah.
I've always said I wanted to open a bagel place that also has pizza for lunch, but I'm going to import water from New York.
Yeah. Again, countless number of tests on that, and they've all failed. But go ahead.
I don't know. Maybe it's the fluffiness.
Yeah.
Well, moving on, we are talking about the World Cup. It was over on Sunday. Woo! Well, it ended with a bang. Of course, France beat Croatia 4-2. It was a really good game if you guys watched it. So Croatia controlled most of the game. They had most of the possession, to be honest, but they just couldn't finish. France definitely did a lot better with shots on goal, excuse me. And according to CBS Sports, France won its second World Cup title since '98, when the French coach was actually the captain of that team. So I thought that was a pretty cool little circle.
Yeah.
That was a cute little kind of like curious fact about it.
My favorite part of the game. Favorite part of the game. Favorite part of the game is at the very end when the Croatian people realize that they've lost. And they're sitting like on the field. They can't like get up and like get off the field, and they just have to sit there and wait for the award to kind of go on. And to know I've lost, and I have to sit here and wait and watch the first place team celebrate. There was a guy that had his flag on still, which I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
but it's kind of just still on the grass.
Nevo, right? With the ponytail.
Yeah, the ponytail guy. Yeah. It's almost as good as watching the World Series of Little League baseball. Because the team that loses, like they cry, and oh man, that is the best part of that Little League World Series. Just watching the last part of it when they
in soccer, you do see grown up men also cry.
Oh sure,
a lot of them crying.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Weeping.
They still came away with, what was it, $28 million for second place.
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh
they
my
still make tons of
God.
money.
I mean, those players or the club?
The club.
Yeah. Those players.
Wipe your tears with
With
the
dollar
money.
bills. Yeah. Rough.
My favorite part of the entire festivities, besides that part, was the award assembly when it was pouring down down rain. And for like a good 5 minutes, Putin was the only one that had the umbrella. You know, there was a guy who his whole job is to have the world's biggest umbrella on the guard, ready
And there
to
were
go.
so many women next to him that were just like drenched.
Yep.
And I commented on that like 3 times. I was like, is no one going to bring the other people an umbrella?
Yeah, you can see France scrambling. Oh God, where's an umbrella? I don't know. Like, running through the stands, trying to find one, and they eventually rushed up on stage, and everyone got one. But as soon as that first drop fell, Putin was under cover.
I did not see that.
They were gonna. So there were talks of having to actually call the game because of the lightning that was coming in, and it would have been the first game ever to have a rain delay or to a storm delay. There were a lot of firsts in this. Besides that, first own goal, youngest teen to ever score in a World Cup final, and a first VAR or video assistant referees assisted goal in the final because of a PK. Because of it was a handball, you know, but then it resulted in a penalty kick. So it's a very interesting game.
Yeah,
it was good. Well, moving on to our kicker, kind of a cool story. A few days ago, snorkeler Jeff Heim, and I hope I'm saying his name right, spotted a shiny object lodged between 2 rocks underwater while swimming in Florida. Well, according to UPI News, when he swam down to get the object, he found it was a GoPro with a memory card full of pictures of this couple from their wedding.
Oh.
So, yeah, he ended up posting to Twitter about it and tagged GoPro, and then GoPro helped him find the couple who it was. It belonged to Tim and, let me make sure I'm having her name right, Tim and Angela Wilson, Angel Wilson, and apparently it had been lost in a paddleboarding accident almost a year ago.
What?
The memory card was still intact. How cool is that?
That's crazy.
That's
I know.
insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shout out GoPro.
That's the story
Right?
when you're like, yay, internet, you did it.
Yeah.
You share some
The
some
good things of social
media. A good use for Twitter. There, we found it finally. Yeah,
there is one.
I would be blown away if I found because I said the girl who lost it. I saw the interview and she was like, yeah, it was way too deep and it was way too dark. And I was like, well, but like imagine because it had her whole wedding on there.
I was gonna say if that was my wedding, I would find it.
So now, because I thought the same thing. Now it was the dog cam, so she lost she had the actual like pro.
Oh, I see.
The professional.
But they had a harness on the dog who was the ring bearer.
That's the most important part.
I was gonna say that'd be the cutest.
Yeah,
part.
dog cam. You just I can only imagine what was on the dog cam footage. Either way, thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate you coming in. Up next, we're gonna talk about Elon Musk and remember when he was cool. That and more coming up next. What did I just see? What was that?
That is a brand of video on the internet called soap cutting, and it's sort of are you familiar with ASMR?
Nope.
It's like when people whisper into a microphone or something, or make little noises.
It's
or
just soothing videos. It's like
Right.
their series, like people cutting soaps, people chopping up makeup, people having those like kinetic sand or something like this.
How is that soothing? That's just
Because-
weird.
You just focusing on it, and it just keeps on like it's so methodic and so slow. You just drawn into it, Josh.
People just like watching people cut the
That's so
soap and
bizarre.
hearing
It's
it
like
click
those
and the
people
crinkle of the
that have-
paper.
They have the Zen garden, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like that.
Yeah. Those people are called weirdos. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
You're not
so
into the soap cutting at all?
I'm not into the soap cutting. I'm into the soap using.
I'm starting a new podcast all about soap cutting.
Well, then you just waste soap. Can you reuse that? Can you like melt it back down and form another
I guess
bar?
you could. I don't see
could.
why not.
Can you melt soap? I guess. And how?
Yeah, you just boil it. You boil it, and then you put it back into a mold, and off we go.
There you go. So do you put it with like water or just by
You
itself?
double boil it. Is that how you call it?
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
a
you
double
double
boiler,
boil
but
it. You just have like a pan with water and then like some like container on top, and you just put it there, and then it melts, and off we go.
my mind just went into like exotic soaps that I could make. Either way, we're talking about Elon Musk because this guy went off the rails on the weekend. I'm going to try to keep this conversation as PC as possible, but it is a news story. So he was commenting about the British diver who was talking about the submarines. Elon Musk, to catch you up, during the soccer team in Thailand who was trapped in a cave, Elon Musk, for some unknown reason, said, I'll come to the rescue, and I'll send all my submarines down there that I'll make in like 36 hours.
Right,
and,
he's going to make these little kid-sized submarines, which at first sounded awesome. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's
Really?
awesome.
Dope. However, it never really happened. He had one that he was like showing off and practicing. It just seemed like a really weird PR stunt, is what it kind of seemed like. And so this British diver, one of the ones who's actually responsible for going in and getting the kids and getting them out, was in an interview, and they asked, hey, why didn't you use the Elon Musk submarines? And to make a long story short, they kind of kept riling him and encouraging him on, and eventually he told, hey, those would never work. It's impractical, and if Elon thinks something else, and he can shove him up where the sun doesn't shine. Something to that regard, which rightfully so made Mr. Musk upset.
Yeah, that seems unnecessary.
Yeah.
but-
Sure. And again, there was some provocation and some
Yeah.
jokes, and you're hilarious and keep it going, and it's one of those kind of things. And then for some reason, man, Eli, he must have had a couple of scotches in him, because he went hard and quick, commenting on him that he would get the submarine into the K5 area, and that this guy must, the word he used was a slang word. He used the word pedo. I was trying to think of another way of doing it, and I can't.
That's fine. No, I think it's all right.
Yeah, and so it's just like, whoa, like what a giant overreaction. Like that is on par with like some of the tweets that you read coming out of in politics today.
Yeah.
Like just that giant overreach of like, good Lord.
So wait, was he claiming that he was going to go to the cave and work the submarines through just to prove a point, I guess? Because there's no one left to save, right?
Yeah, he was going to prove a point.
Yeah.
That this guy
Oh, wow.
doesn't know what he's talking about. And then again with just like the slander, which now the British diver is saying, hey, can I sue? Which he can. So he's
Called
gonna
me a pedophile.
yeah. So he can sue Elon Musk. Just one of those things. Like, he used to be super cool.
I seem to remember a time when I thought Elon Musk was going to revolutionize the world, where he's building these 1,000-mile-per-hour trains, and he's shooting things off to space, and he's building the Tesla, which is a cool car. I remember a time when I'm like, this dude is Batman, more or less. He's out there doing. He's got a bunch of money, and he's doing cool stuff with it. I mean, you could probably argue about how people spend their money, one way or another. But still, it felt like he was making technology that was at least pushing us forward as a society. And now,
Right, instead of waiting for the government to to do stuff and develop technology. He was just, I'll put it in and whatever happens afterwards, but it's there. It's
one of those things, though, that if I'm Elon, I would say, hey, here's the deal. I want to give like $4 million. Whatever you need from me, let me know. Here's cash. Here's just some cash money for food, for medicine, for for airfare back for the people who are flying in. Whatever you need, let me know.
Yeah,
and I got you. That's way better than like I'll invent something right off the cuff that is 50-50 chance of it succeeding.
Yeah,
and let's just see what happens.
Yeah,
and then he dove into helping Flint, Michigan.
I've heard that he's claiming that he's going to solve the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, which again is something that should be done, should have been done already. But I can only sit back and wonder, how is he going to manage to spin this one in a way that's unpalatable as well.
I've never seen a guy who's trying to do good and be hated by so many people at the same time. He's trying to do good things, legitimately is, but going about it in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Man. So I can't wait to watch the roller coaster ride that is Elon Musk and his upcoming. If you're on the board of Tesla, you have to be freaking out right now, knowing my CEO has lost it.
Well, I mean, you've got a Papa John situation on your hand, right?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's out there calling people horrible slurs for no discernible reason, and only because they insulted his kid-sized submarine. That
he invented like 36 hours ago. So
don't have so much attachment to that submarine, dude.
We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we have fashion faux pas and their effect on American society.
Some milkshake butter, milkshake from curry milkshake masala. I like it never. I want to go to Kathmandu. I want to go to Kathmandu. My iPhone here is made Kathmandu. I have iPhone 6. We make it in Kathmandu, and we don't Samsung. We only into iPhone in Kathmandu.
There we go. He went to the Josh Hart School of Dance right there, that guy. So there you go.
I really like it.
Yeah, more fun stuff. Before we get to the fashion faux pas, I'm hoping you all agree this is a fashion faux pas.
I do.
I want to show something else that I saw on the internet over the weekend, and it was the Country Boy Uber. By far one of my favorite ads I've ever seen, because it brought me instantaneously back to East Texas.
What was this on? This looks like it was on.
It was on
maybe Facebook
Marketplace.
Yeah.
So the guy was like, "Forget Uber, you got me." Go ahead and give that. Yeah. So it's like, screw Uber. It's Friday night. I can't read the rest of it here.
Don't drink and drive. Message me and I'll come get you in a 2000 Ford F-250 4x4 with a case of beer and a cooler in the back, blasting Skynyrd on the speakers, and I'll holler, "Hell yeah, brother," at everything you say.
That is my high school experience, minus the beer in the back, obviously.
But, I wasn't very surprised when you sent this across, because actually in Austin, when they stopped using Uber, apparently for whatever months, how many months
Yeah.
they were not allowed to operate in Austin. They were actually, this was a common thing where people would post stuff on groups and be like, hey, I'm available, you know, here's my number, let me know, and this will be the ride for whatever standard time driving, blah blah blah. And this was the thing in Austin. Like people were getting worried about safety issues, obviously. So you know, like any random person.
Don't mind the van with no windows. Just come on in. You're totally fine.
Look at this guy though. That guy looks friendly, right?
Yeah, that guy's
he
fine.
does.
Yeah. Hell
He
yeah,
looks
brother.
Like
Yeah. Oh man, it is 4 wheels just in case, or 4-wheel drive just in case. So
just in case you were out at a field party or something.
Yeah, I love the internet. So this is the next thing we found online, and it is a new, and I hopefully this is just one of those like pretend fake things, but it looks like there's actually going to start selling these things. And when I heard upside down pants, I didn't know what to think.
I didn't either. I couldn't picture
isn't
this
as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
But it's still not great.
Yeah, so these are jeans. I think I want to say that they were made with some sort of connection to Stranger Things, maybe the upside down and stuff like that.
Oh.
So
I see.
they've created these jeans where the waist and the belt loops are on the bottom.
Right.
The shorts are a little bit more pronounced. The jeans, they still have a button and a like,
Yeah.
You still need to attach them somehow.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I gotta say this. I actually find them so cool. I
Really?
like
Of
them.
course
I like
you do.
them very much.
Of course. You are our most eccentric dresser, so it would make sense.
true.
You are very fashion forward. I would never. I would, and I'm glad you don't own a pair yet. I would judge any person who walked in here wearing this.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, because here's the deal. Like that, you're right. The button and the zipper. That's you're done.
You can't get rid of those.
No, unless it's an elastic waist.
Yeah.
Now you have something.
Right. When I was picturing it before I actually saw the picture, I thought, well, yeah, they've completely reversed it. They have some sort of way to wear them where it's, I don't know, seamless. Like you don't see a button or you don't see a zipper or anything.
Right.
It's just it looks like the cuff of a normal jean would look, and maybe you can cinch them up or, like you said, elastic or something like that.
Cinch.
But cinch. Like I need that. But no, it just looks like a normal pair of jeans on top and then a normal pair of jeans on bottom. I don't really understand the draw.
I love how on Facebook we already have Haley and Amanda saying, I like them and those shorts are super cute.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, all the dumb
So,
guys in the office are like,
guys, guys, it may be a gender situation.
well, it could be.
Oh yeah, and if Zach showed up on Thursday wearing the upside down jean, I would lose my mind. I'm a simple guy though. I like solid print. I wear denim or chino jeans. I don't take a lot of risk with my fashion.
But
Right.
I gotta be honest. I mean, I think this actually works, and it makes the jeans look quirky. But there was a fashion trend that it was kind of like the pants were completely ripped off. Only the seams were kept in. So like it was pretty much like 1 inch of pants throughout the sides, and then there was these plastic pants. They were like kind of transparent, but you had to wear obviously something underneath. Like those things I cannot get on board.
Wait, sorry.
They're
They
too
were like
weird.
see-through plastic pants?
Right.
What's the point of wearing pants?
Fashion.
No. See, I'm a practical guy. Denim is meant to cover up things and to help and to shield from the elements. That's why you wear these things.
No.
No, you're right. No is the answer. Yeah, that the short is better. I'm gonna agree with Amanda. The shorts are better than the pants.
Yeah.
The shorts I could kind of be on board with. They still look weird, but the pants I'm totally out on.
No.
I feel like I really
no
want to
thanks.
go back home and like just grab a pair of old pants and just
You gonna
make a
make some
pair
of
of these.
Yeah. Hey, how do you feel about female jeans with no back pockets?
Like the back pockets are cut out?
No,
or?
no,
Like leggings?
they weren't there. No, this is denim material, just no back pockets. It bothers me.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, so
Why?
it's just like flat denim. Like there's no.
Just a flat denim. Yeah, there's no place to put anything in the back pocket.
Well, I guess I don't have a problem with it. Maybe. I guess they're not functional or normal. usually anyway, right?
Yeah, to me, like those scream because like my mom would wear those. So anytime I see someone else, like those are mom
They
jeans.
They are very mom jeans, but I don't. I think theoretically, I don't have a problem with them not having back pockets.
No, I was at a concert. This will be the thing we're going to say before we sign off. I was at a concert, and the lead singer had a like she was like being all like groovy and trying to be all like sexual, but then she was like turned around during her dance, no back pockets on the jeans. Like I'm out.
Took you out of the whole thing.
Yep, she made the whole thing. You're wearing my mom's jeans right now. I'm out.
Right,
Can't
that
do
sounds
it.
like more of a personal hang-up than anything really wrong with it.
That is our show for today. When we come back on Wednesday, we have a very special surprise. One of our very own people here took their stab at a viral video.
Ooh,
I don't think
yes.
we have that edited up yet, right?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We'll have that packaged in with some other examples
so
of this.
that'll be on Wednesday. A little teaser for you there. Up next is Seth Denson and somewhere in the middle. Just stick around.